There's a reason why recycling is so far down on our list of the 5 R's when it comes to sustainable living. And it's because the current system that operates in many countries, including the UK, is far from perfect. In fact, some critics have gone so far as to say that it's completely broken. So why are we talking about why recycling is actually so important? Well, in today's video, we're going to be exploring what really happens to our recycling, the discrepancies between materials and consumer confusion, recycling centres, and whether plastic is all that bad. I want to say a quick thank you to the Clear on Plastics campaign, which aims to help break down or demystify some of the confusion around plastics, which are actually really detrimental and problematic, and which are the ones that we can't really get out of our system because they are incredibly helpful. So thank you for supporting today's video, and we'll talk a little bit more about them later on. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up because it really supports my channel, and hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss another video. Okay, grab a cup of tea and let's get straight into the video. So, is there hope for our recycling system? Well, the short answer is yes. But I want to take you through some of the issues that we are facing and why actually my conclusion is yes, it is incredibly important that we continue to recycle. So there are 4 main issues as to why recycling in the UK has become so problematic. Consumer confusion over what can and can't be recycled, business responsibility or lack thereof, not enough recycling centres or treatment centres, and hard to manage once shipped abroad. I think one of the greatest issues for me personally is understanding what can and can't be recycled. What happens if they're not cleaned properly? Is it all just a waste of time? Or can these issues actually be rectified? After some extensive research, I found that there were actually some great resources that can help you better understand what you can and can't recycle, and where to do that as well. Recycle Now is a great website that helps to demystify what's possible in your area and helps to educate us as consumers about what is and isn't currently being recycled. However, the majority of people are unlikely to do such extensive research simply to find out how to recycle properly so that the materials they are disposing of get put back into the waste stream so they can be created into something new. That's why campaigns like Clear on Plastic are so important, because they do help to break down some of the confusion we face when looking at recycling. So although there are problems, let's talk about why it is so important that we continue to recycle. The recycling system isn't perfect, but it's being worked on. It's still our best disposable option to keep plastics a valuable material in use and out of the environment. WRAP's 2010 research report that reviewed the environmental benefits of recycling stated that most studies show that recycling offers more environmental benefits and lower environmental impacts than the other waste management options. If you don't know who WRAP are, they're a sustainability non-profit based in the UK. They work with governments, businesses, and communities to deliver practical solutions to improve resource efficiency. They recently launched a campaign, Clear on Plastic, to help us as consumers understand the benefits of some plastics. Now, I know you might be surprised to hear this on this channel, and also because plastic is so vilified in the mainstream media, and I have definitely been guilty of doing that too. However, this argument lacks nuance and essentially erases the needs of those who rely on plastic for things like medical care and much more. There are many reasons as to why we can't simply replace plastics with other materials or have an outright ban. We need to consider weight, transportation, how much of the material is recycled, and how it is disposed of. Let's break them down into common questions. So, why can't we ban plastic altogether? Banning all plastic packaging doesn't solve the plastic problem. The problem is when plastic ends up as litter in our oceans, where it causes harm to the environment, or in landfill where its value is lost. The way to stop this is to reduce, reuse, and recycle plastics properly. And unfortunately, plastic may still be the best option in certain circumstances. The first one is, of course, for medical needs, as it helps comply with safety and hygiene standards and protect these products. The second is to reduce food waste. It provides an air, water, and hygiene type barrier for perishable and easily damaged goods, which helps prolong the shelf life and reduce waste. Food waste is a huge contributor to carbon emissions, so this is important in the fight against climate change. Plastic also weighs less than some of their alternatives, so it reduces transport needs, which in turn reduces carbon emissions. And lastly, it's easy to print information onto, such as food labels and allergy information, which can be life-saving for individuals. Of course, this isn't an extensive list, but it gives you an indication or an idea as to how much plastic is still used and why it's in circulation. So why can't we simply replace plastic with other materials like metal or glass or paper? Replacing plastic with other materials such as glass or paper doesn't necessarily make for a straightforward, eco-friendly swap. There's no simple answer when it comes to understanding which material has the least environmental impact. It's not just plastics that can cause problems if not disposed of correctly. For example, metal and glass do not break down and can cause land and marine litter, not to mention the land and water used in creating these materials or labour involved in mining other materials used. Is recyclability just an excuse to produce more plastic? Now, this is a great question and one I have asked myself many times. Plastic is a valuable resource which we need to keep in the economy and out of the environment, just like any other material. Recycling keeps plastic in use and stops it from being thrown away. Recycling one 500ml plastic bottle saves enough energy to power a light bulb for 9 hours. Of course, it's not absolutely realistic to think we can remove all plastic from our lifestyles, but we can and should take steps to stop it polluting our environment and affecting local communities around plastic production facilities. We can't just recycle our way out of the plastic waste problem. We need to reduce and reuse too. Plastic is a popular and highly versatile material, as we've just discussed. And so optimizing the lifespan of plastics by reusing and recycling items as many times as possible reduces our need to create new plastic. This, I would argue, is precisely why we need to keep recycling rather than simply giving up. By recycling plastic, this means we can do 5 things. We can conserve non-renewable fossil fuels, reduce the consumption of energy used in production of new plastic, reduce the amount of solid waste going to landfill, reduce emissions of gases like carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, and reduce the impact on local communities who are most affected by plastic production. There is hope for the future of recycling. More and more startups are using plastics that aren't commonly recycled to turn them into really, really cool things. Like my friends over at OHNE, they use flexible plastics like plastic bags to turn them into portable speakers and to portable chargers. Businesses are also beginning to use recycled materials into their activewear lines or swimwear lines and other reusable products for everyday use. And other initiatives like the UK Plastics Pact are working with businesses to take the first steps towards ensuring that our supermarket shelves are free from problematic and unnecessary plastics. For more clear, up-to-date and helpful information on plastic and the environment from sustainability experts WRAP, hit the link in the description. They share advice on what we can all do as individuals to the changes being made by government and industry. I don't think anyone is disputing that plastics do pose a very real risk to the environment and to the communities who live particularly close to plastic production facilities, and that the recycling system definitely needs improvement. However, since plastic is such an important material in some respects, it's now more important than ever that we keep it in circulation by recycling. As mentioned earlier, recycling plastics reduces the need to create new plastic and helps to keep it out of the environment. If you're looking for other ways to reuse and repurpose items, then check out my 100 ways to reuse and repurpose things that you have to try. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and I hope you found it useful. This is a very quick whistle-stop tour, so it's a very short introduction. However, I will leave lots of links to all the reports and research that I did for this video, so you can check them out if you want to do some more reading. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, as it really supports me making these kinds of videos. So yeah, thank you for watching and I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye.